It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Good evening, model citizens. Welcome. I am in my new space and I am still working on getting everything up and running, but I think I got most of it happening. I couldn't unfortunately get part of my setup over here working, so maybe if we have time I'll jump into that. But we're going to talk about reducing echo. Hopefully the echo is a little better in here than previously, but we'll talk about what I'm going to keep doing to keep improving it. So before we get to that, let's just take a quick check-in and see who's joining us tonight. We have Eric from Dad Cooks in the house. We have David Atkins here as well. Digger from Digger Evans of Model Railway is here. Dragon Lover 68. Dwight Curley, yes, you were first, Dwight, or at least as far as I know. Joe Rader, Black Rock Central Railroad's here. Lynn McCurdy's here. We've got William from New Fenris Railroad. Norman Rowe is here. Mike, the rail artist in the house. Roy Eltham joining us as well. I see Norm Miller popping in as well. John from Schuylkill River Valley is here. Steve Childers in the house. Hey, Steve, did you get the email to join? If you want to join tonight, I think I emailed you the link. And we have Steve 87th. PSAP. Luckily, Roy is saying it's noticeably better, which I am really glad to hear that. And yeah, it's definitely gonna keep getting better. One thing I do want to mention is that next week I'm gonna start 9:30 streams. So basically, the union that I'm in is Local 1, IATSE Local 1. It's the stagehands union here in New York. And as things are starting to open up again, there have been some requests basically to just get on some lists to join. So I put my name on a list and I got a week of work. So the week of work is actually August 16th. But I just thought starting next week, we'll just move to 9:30 and we'll go from there and we'll see how it goes. And yeah, that's what's happening. Just before we get into other stuff, I thought I would kind of show you some of the angle. Yeah, right. Yay, work. Yeah, it's one thing I really want for this new space is to get a pair of lavaliers, and that's probably going to be one of the first things I get. And having that week of work is definitely going to come in very handy. So it is going to be 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so it'll be after Tom. And depending on how long Tom rants for, I'll probably start at 9:30, regardless of when Tom ends. But usually he's wrapping up and or continuing his rants by then. But I've already talked to Tom, and we're all good. So yeah, so it's Eastern Standard Time is what it will be. So real quick, let's look at the angles we got. As you can see, we got the face cam set up here with kind of the studio. I am sitting in a chair today. It just sort of had worked out for me that's how I'm doing it today, is in the chair. Roy, thanks so much. $10 towards the lavs. If people are curious, the lavaliers that I'm going to get would be the Rode Wireless Go 2s. Big reason I'm going to get them is there are other versions that are similar, but what I really like about the Rode 2s is you can actually record in the lavalier. And one thing that I really want to do with the new studio is get back into creating some uploads. So recording some good audio is very important to me as well. So the lavs are really going to help with that. And the other thing is, now that I have the studio, hopefully maybe if anybody's ever in New York City, people will come and visit. So I'll have a second one for that, because the Rode Wireless Go 2s is basically two microphones on one receiver. So yeah, so face cam we got there. Right now, I've got my side light set up on this table behind me here. I am upside light to half the face. The light's actually coming from up top left, but I'll talk about the lighting more in a second too. But the side camera is currently on that table. My idea for the side camera now is that it's going to actually be on wheels, so I'll be able to move it around. So it'll be the top light on the desk as well as the top light on the model railroad back there. What that is right now is that's where the T-track is going to get set up once I have the time. This weekend, I started getting in here on Friday, and it's just been wild getting this all set up. I will not show you the cable mess that is underneath the desk right now because everything is basically temped in. I haven't I haven't cleaned up any of the wiring just in case I want to move things. But Roy, yeah, you're welcome. No UV light. I'll go through the lighting in a second. The other camera that I have is my overhead camera is now up there. I don't know if it's going to stay up there. I'm kind of sitting here. I don't know. I can actually, if I turn this light on. I don't know if I'm going to keep that up there or not. I wanted some sort of, like whole room kind of light. You can see the train inspector sleeping down here. So right now, that's where it's at. But it'll probably move around a bit, and I don't know why, but it doesn't seem to be switching back. There we go. And I'm in your bathroom again. Tim, it should be a little better tonight, but we'll talk about the echo in a second. Oh, this is the one I want to click on. You have a company. Are you talking to me, Eric, or are you talking to somebody else? Looks like Heath and N-Scale from the overhead. Yeah, that's good. I could use that. But let's say hello to Mr. Steve Childers. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great. How about you, Heath?
I am doing much better. This is pretty exciting. I was afraid that I wouldn't even have room to sit down, that this table was going to be so close, and it's looking like I have a decent amount of space. For people that don't know, I usually actually stream standing up. I find that it gives me more energy to kind of be standing and that sort of thing. So yeah, but it's just been a long three days, and my feet are killing me. So I thought I'd sit for this stream.
The echo is about non-existent.
Oh, that's fantastic. So let's talk about the lighting really quick, and then we'll talk about that. So the way I've currently got the lighting set up, and I'm trying to turn this off. So I've got a kind of my key light, and the key light's a little too far to my left. I probably need to swing it more around here.
Sparky, hey, Jerry.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. That's probably a little better. So I've got a key light. I've got a light on my desk, which is this light here that I keep not being able to turn on and off. So this would be if I'm going to work on my desk. I've got a light there. If we go back to the side camera shot too, I've got a light. I've got a light on that as well. And then what I thought would be interesting to talk about, maybe not, we'll see. But some people were asking last week, like, how the background light was, the colors. So if you notice now, the background light's really red. And people were kind of asking, like, how did I make it so red last time? Room. I do. I wanted my own kill room. And so what I did, and the other thing, I think last week it was actually blue. I don't remember which to unplug. Nope, that's not the one. Who knows what I just unplugged? There we go. So, and now it's kind of a bluish purple, but people were asking how I was getting the colors. So I thought I would explain that to people. Mr. McCurdy.
How you doing?
I am doing fantastic. How are you today?
The sound, the video, everything is right on. I know you're going to improve, but it looks great and sounds good.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, I'm a perfectionist, so there's always room to improve, but I'm still playing with the lights. I mean, this I don't know what to do with this overhead camera, but I'll figure that out eventually. But yeah, I thought I'd talk to people basically about this, which is that's the color gray that's on my walls, and it's CSP20 from Benjamin Moore. And if I was prepared, I would have had this open ahead of time, but of course I wasn't. And in my defense, I was running around. But I'm gonna show you how did I come up with this color? Like, why? How did I choose this? And the answer is in this spreadsheet that I'm going to share in a second when I get myself in order. Share screen, window. So I wanted a color that was going to be very neutral. And the reason I wanted a very neutral color is that whatever I was going to be shooting in here, I wanted to make sure that the wall color wasn't changing the tint of whatever I was shooting. So, like, for example, if I have a Pennsylvania Railroad, Tuscan passenger set, that if I took a picture of it, it was going to look like the right color. And what happens a lot of times is when you paint your walls different colors, you get a reflection off the walls. And the way to eliminate any sort of color shift is to choose a very neutral color. So if you look at the spreadsheet that I've got here, you can see this RGB column right here. And what this RGB column shows is it shows the amount of red is the first number, green is the second number, and blue is the last number. So Benjamin Moore, and I just found this list online. I don't know who compiled it, but somebody compiled this list. So Benjamin Moore, 21-21-10, has a very, very neutral value of 88, 88, 88. And I took and basically created all these little formulas over here to kind of figure out, what were the most neutral colors, and then I sorted, I sorted by that so that I could find the colors. And then I went here, and you see, like, these are the different grays. So I was trying to find something. These are too black, right? So these don't have any reflectance to them. And like this one here is too light. So I wanted to find something that wasn't white, wasn't black, somewhere in the middle. And that's what I came up with, this CSP20. Because it's 147, 148, 147. So that's almost a neutral gray. It's almost, across the board neutral. I believe it's got what's called a 31% reflectance, meaning that when you shine a light onto the wall, 31% of that light is going to shine off of it. So, like, for example, this face light that I have shining on me, if I had a white wall over here, I would get probably like 97% of the light coming back at me, because white's not truly 100% reflectance. But so let's say I get 97% of the light on me, you'd see a lot more light on this side. But because the color is only 31% reflectance, then that means that the light that's bouncing off this wall is then hitting me on the side of the face at only 30%. So with this one key light, I'm getting 100% on this side of my face and 30% on this side of my face, and getting just this, wonderful, I don't know how wonderful it is, but I'm getting this lighting, I'm getting that lighting. So the other thing that it does is it means, like, when I shine these lights, and this is my blue light, it's sitting right here next to me, or if I turn if I turn the red lights on, I get pretty true colors. Mike's saying 30% on both sides will be better for all of us. Are you saying I'm ugly, Mike? Is that what you're trying to say?
I was thinking we should call you Goldilocks.
Yeah.
Goldilocks and Three Bears. Not too dark, not too light, just right.
And that's what it is. I mean, it's kind of funny, but so when you get this list, right? You get the hexadecimal numbers and the RGB values and stuff, and I narrowed it down to like these 20, and then I like went to this list and like I was putting in all the different colors and you don't need to do all of this. Nobody needs to do all this. This is just the kind of stuff that insane people do to pick the color for their studios. So, yeah, and let's actually, we can open this up. Let's move it over here. The other thing is I have all these monitors right now, and I don't know, I haven't figured out where to put stuff yet.
You mentioned insane people, and Steve gets up and walks away.
I don't blame him. I would walk away too. Benjamin Moore.
I'm right here.
Yeah, we see it.
So let me share screen, Chrome tab. Oh, not that one, this one. So for anyone that's curious, let's zoom this in so people can see. So here it is, Wall Street. It's not an exterior paint. Where does it say? Oh, it used to say what the reflectance and everything was. But I don't... Oh, here it is. Sorry. LRV is... I think it's light reflectance value is LRV. Tim says... Yeah, Tim, that's where I learned a lot of... Oh, sorry, Tim. That's Keith. Hey, Keith. Haven't seen you in a while. Keith, CAMP. That's where I learned a lot of this was from theatrical lighting and then also architectural lighting. But the LRV value is, I believe, light reflectance value. Yep. And it's a measurement commonly used by design professionals such as architects and interior designers that expresses the percentage of light reflected from a surface. LRVs range from 0 to 100, 100 being pure white, 0 being absolute black. I think the best example of people, I got to live with the wall colors I got. I can't repaint it. Yeah, I get that too. The best example of that in real world, I think, is if you ever go outside on a hot summer day in your bare feet and you walk across the street and you've tried to walk across the asphalt, you know you'll burn your feet. But if you walk across the white line is cool. And the reason is because the white line is reflecting the heat or the light, and the black is absorbing the heat or the light. And that's basically the real world example of it. So yeah, 29.63% reflectance. And yeah, that's kind of the gig. And I don't really have any lights set up to show you the true color of what this is, except to kind of, turn this on, but you can kind of see that's, it's gray. But yeah, and it's, Sparky says that's what my back deck is, Sparky says his back deck is gray because it's so much cooler on the feet. And again, it's like you could have painted it white, but if you paint your back deck white, it would get so much dirtier. So gray is kind of a nice middle ground, I would say. In the U.S., Heath, maybe not. It gets way too hot, 100 plus in the shade. Yeah, but still, if you walk on the white lines, it's still definitely a lot cooler than it is if you walk on the black asphalt. Lynn knows. Lynn's been out in the desert in his bare feet.
I was just thinking around here walking the white line to get run over. But
Well, that is something that you definitely have to contend with. That is
it's
very
100 today,
true.
which is down a couple of degrees. I still wouldn't walk outside, even on the grass today. It's just hot. And
Yeah.
I just looked, I think something like 8% humidity. So it's just dry heat.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah, we don't.
fry eggs on the sidewalk. So yeah.
If we get down to like 43%, we consider it low humidity here. So what he is really saying is, depending on your lighting, the wall could be purple, red, or gray. Mind you, we've not seen it in gray yet. Yeah. The point is that whatever color I shine on that wall, we're going to get 30% of the color back, whatever the color is, and it's not going to shift. So, yeah. CP368 Tim says it's a lot cooler if you keep your shoes on, which is also very true. Container Man, phone signal ain't working for me today. I guess 75 miles per hour across Nevada doesn't help either. Yeah, that's true. So if that's the case, why is brown sand at the beach so effing hot? That's a good question. I don't think it's because of the color, but now that you ask that, I feel like maybe somebody who is not me will Google it and see if they can find out why that's not what it is. So this is weird. So I'm trying to get past broadcast, upcoming broadcast. I'm trying to get. It shows. Well. So what I'm trying to do, if people are curious, is I've got a teleprompter on my face camera, and what I want to do is I want to be able to put Lynn and Steve up on the teleprompter. The problem is I didn't leave enough time to set it up, and I had it set up one way. The problem is the way I had it set up, my computer was basically being overtaxed, and I would have crashed the stream. And I realized it like 4 minutes before I was about to go live. So it was already running. You know, the stream was already running, and I realized that, I was going to have problems. And I didn't have time to log in, so I'm a little behind there. But while I'm behind, because I'm always behind, and we'll see how quickly I can do this, but I'm going to play, I think it's a 60-second video, might be 45 seconds. Why don't people count? Make it a contest. We'll see how close people get. But it's just a video thanking my supporters and people that support me on Patreon, people that support me on YouTube, as well as my sponsors. So if you could support my sponsors, I'd appreciate it. And thanks so much to the people that support the channel through memberships. Wrong video. Not that video. Forget that. Pretend I didn't play that. This is the video.
Sparky, you ought to see me when I bend over.
What are you saying now, Steve?
Sparky said he doesn't want to see me on a teleprompter. Can already see too much of me when I turn around. I said, well, you ought to see me when I bend over.
Yeah, well, we'll try and keep this show family friendly. So the other thing is the teleprompter is upside down. So I'm trying to type in my password, or not my password, my email address on a keyboard that's upside down. And if you want any sense of how hard that is, try flipping your keyboard around and then typing. It's a trick. It's a trick. But give me 2 more seconds, and maybe I can get this going. And I apologize that I'm doing this during the show, but this is kind of this is kind of what happens when you're behind. It was kind of like 5:15, and I was like rushing to feed the dog just to run here. There we go.
I was just thinking, if I turn my keyboard around, I'd probably find half a bag of Fritos and a dozen coupler springs. But oh well.
Yeah. So I don't know why this does this, but the volume doesn't go all the way off on this iPad either. And I don't see a way to make it full screen either, which is kind of a bummer. I'm going to have to figure this out. Like, there's got to be a way to do this so that I can just watch it on the screen. And I don't know. I don't know a great way to do that. I'm looking for stuff. I'm looking for something to shove in the plug so it stops making noise. Lynn, tell a story.
Okay. Keith has already asked to see part of this room and my collection of stuff. How's that? And one of the latest projects, because I'm always looking for something, a while back, there was a young man on Facebook that said he was looking for a DCC engine in a $50 price range. And a lot of the older guys just jumped all over him. That's junk. That's trash. You can't do it. So I wrote to him on the side and I said, yeah, it's out there. You can find a whole lot of stuff. So I went to eBay, did a little research, sent him a couple of links. He thanked me, but didn't do anything. And then I got looking at him and, wow, these are some pretty good deals. So first off, I got this little puppy, DCC, ran at the last show in May. It did quite well. So I started poking around and found this shell, which is left to right, gets really mixed up here. But it had a lot of really cool detail, the silver bell, everything on it, but didn't have a frame and wheels. So did some more searching. If anybody's looking for a New York Central without anything anymore other than a shell, really cheap, $1. And I stripped this out of it. So here's the rest of the quick story while Keith's looking around. This thing is heavy. This thing is solid iron. I mean, you could use it for a boat anchor. And it's out of what's called a Trainmaster. Anybody who knows what they look like, I don't care if they run good, but it looks really crummy. But it came with a sound decoder that worked. So in my thinking, I will make this other one into a DCC. But when I talk to my DCC guru, he says it'll burn up a decoder. Don't do it. So I thought I can put the decoder into the dummy, and I will have 2 locomotives, 1 DC, 1 dummy with sound until there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. It broke. End of story. Back to you now.
It broke? What do you mean it broke?
There is these little metal. These are the trucks off of the Trainmaster. And they have these nice little metal contacts. Unfortunately, wherever they went to, well, it's here.
You didn't drive it off your bench work, did you?
No, I got carpet. I'm good on that. But the little metal tabs on the,
That's
I
an
assume it's an
exclusive club,
after,
Heath.
they literally, when I went to solder them, they just came off. And the trucks on this are iron or something. I don't know what they are, but you can't.
Sparky
solder.
wants to know, when you say dummy with sound, are you talking about the train or are you talking about me?
No, talking about me. I'm a pretty good dummy and I talk a lot. So, no, Sparky. Talking about the dummy locomotive with a sound decoder that still works. I'll find something else to put it in. And I hardly ever throw anything away. Well, Keith, you've seen the room. It's full of boxes of stuff. But
Yes.
we got a show coming up 2 weeks from this Friday. Well, actually, a week from this Friday. On the 13th, we'll be setting up in Tehachapi and running on Saturday and Sunday. And these trains will be up there putting around, and I'll take some pictures and all that stuff. Speaking of, you told me not to, but guess what I got? A big white box.
White boxes are good.
White boxes with this.
Ah! Which one is that?
This is the one you told me not to get. I guess this is the easiest.
So what you're saying is I shouldn't have said anything because you were going to do it anyway.
Well, it was real cheap, and you said the batteries are probably no good. But I figured to get my feet wet, rather than spending big money, I would try something like this. I've opened the first page to contents and the next page, and I wish I lived next door because this is going to be insane trying to figure all of this out.
Yeah, honestly, you really just need to mount your phone in it and turn it on. That's probably the it's probably the way to do it. Is just mount the phone and turn it on, and don't worry about all the other nonsense.
See, it already works. No. Oh,
Mine doesn't. If you hold the top of it, the bottom of it flips around like that.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean, never mind. Dave, would you please straighten Lynn out?
He's a lost cause.
That might be a little bit above my pay grade.
Oh, yeah?
But I figure eventually I'll destroy it or it'll work. And next week I may be taking a bunch of videos. Who knows? Well, I'll be taking videos anyway. That's a given. But got more to show if you want. I mean, it's your show. I don't want to take over.
No, go for it. Honestly, I want to talk about some of this soundproofing stuff. I'll talk about it in a second, but if you want to talk for a little bit, I'm going to just take a little nap, and you feel free to keep going, because I'm Roy Eltham wants to know if it's even possible to straighten you out, Lynn.
No, it's hopeless. Ask my wives, as in 4. No, I'm hopeless. This last
At least you don't go on vacation with all 4 of your wives on the same trip. Or was it 3 of your wives on the same trip?
Only 3. The first one we couldn't find, and nobody wants to look for her. She's scary. Yeah. She's the one that came with me after me with a knife. So yeah, we don't talk about her. But I showed you the pictures.
I know, that's why I made the joke.
Number 2, number 3, and current, and we went for 3 weeks all through about 7 or 8 states, and we came back alive.
I think it's impressive that you came back alive. I would expect them to come back alive.
Yeah, you got.
It was you I was concerned about.
Yeah, a lot of people are concerned about me, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
this is going to be tough teaching Lynn how to use a gimbal on air if you don't have an example. Do you want to try that, Lynn? Do you want to try and get your gimbal working right now?
I got nothing better to do. Sure.
I got nothing better to do either. we'll leave a little bit of time to talk about fixing an echo, but let's try and get your little thing working. So
I assume it goes in here somehow.
yeah, so on your phone, the where the camera is on your phone determines whether you mount the phone like this in the gimbal or whether you mount it like this in the gimbal. So basically, you want the arm of the gimbal to be going away from the camera when you mount it in the gimbal. So
I got to figure out how to even put the phone in this thing.
yeah, Thomas, depending on the one that you have, I actually don't. Mine, I can fit it in with the case, and I believe the one Lynn has, you can fit in with the case as well. So you shouldn't need to take it out. And I would actually recommend. I would actually recommend not taking it out of the case, just in case it pops out of. Just in case it pops out of the thingamajiggy, if you know what I mean.
I think I found the situation. There's more parts in the box, right?
So Sparky wanted to know if I was going to use my phone for anything, and the answer is no. I wasn't planning on it, but if people are curious, this is the desk setup with my phone. So I've got 3 monitors. I've got StreamYard with the chat up in that corner. I've got YouTube and the time down in that corner. I've got absolutely nothing on that screen right now because I'm not sure what I'm doing with my life. This is the teleprompter, and I'm trying to get. I would love if I could get that full screen on the iPad. I don't know how to make it full screen though. Meaning full screen, meaning make this part full screen so that it's full screen. And then this is a monitor that is for this camera over here. You can maybe see me waving in that monitor. So it's just a little QC monitor for that other thing. But people were asking what the dog thought about the room, and you can tell the dog's not very impressed. Right now, this is just collecting a bunch of mess. Mr. Jimbo wants to know how I'm doing the time screen. The time screen is just a web browser, and I'm using something called timeanddate.com, and I'm just doing their full screen clock option. And what's great about that is, now turn it on, Lynn. There should be a button that you press and hold, which will turn it on. Oh, you were asking. Sparky says he was asking me because he was texting me and he didn't want to mess up the stream. It's okay, Sparky. Whatever. This is good though. This is people can see the right there. That's that overhead camera, which isn't in a great spot. That's where it is right now, and you can see there's the lights that make the background red. This is another white light. Here's this camera is just on a big tripod, and eventually this camera will move it around so that I can put it on my desk or on the layout. And this is where the layout is going to go. I'm going to make a loop here, and this is some of the stuff we'll talk about in a second to help sort of improve the sound in the room. But yeah, currently I only have this microphone set up. I don't have this microphone set up. I've got over here my audio interface. This is what controls the stream. And this is a window with curtains. There is sun out there, but I prefer controlling my light. So Yeah, the phone's hooked up. I don't have the gimbal down here with me though. The gimbal's upstairs. But yes, Sparky, I'm seeing your texts. I'm just ignoring them for now. It's all good. So Robert, I, I'm I'm moved in enough to be able to do a live stream down here. I wouldn't exactly say that I'm moved in 100%. We're getting there. We're getting there. I feel like this is the basement Heath uses to lock his guests in. I wish I had some guests. I don't have any guests. Yeah. Oh, sorry. What am I trying to do? This one. No closed blinds. It kills the look. Yes. The light from outside doesn't help anything. So, Lynn, did you get it to turn on? The power
I had
button.
a bunch of flashing lights, but I wasn't sure what I was doing, and I wanted to hear what you were saying, so I was paying more attention to you than it.
So what should happen is when the phone's mounted and you turn it on, the phone will sort of flip around a little bit and then it'll end up in this position.
Oh.
And then you'll there's like a main sort of big button and you tap it 3 times and then it'll go whoop.
Ah. Oh, 3 times. Okay. Yeah. I'll play with it later.
Artie found his table in his train room yesterday. Yeah, so, beg to differ. Speaking of guests, so Andy, a step, came over this weekend and helped me lug my desk down here. And none of this would have been possible without him. So I do really need to thank Andy for helping me get all this moved down here, because it's a lot of little pieces and parts, and not everything is even down here. I mean, it's yeah. How's that go again, Heath? How does what go again, Heath? I don't remember. I'm not sure what's going on. Dave P's having problems with his internet. Yeah, he popped in and popped out. Yeah, Ethan, I saw your comment about getting the box car. I was just, I saw it. It was just, just having a conversation, getting things aligned. Okay, so let's talk about soundproofing. And actually, Sparky was talking about setting my camera up. Why don't we get the handheld camera out again? So when I originally moved in here, all of these walls were literally just, drywall walls. So if you talked anywhere near the wall, all of the sound would bounce right back. And that, I wanted you to hear you go whoop again. Whoop! Whoop! That right? Or do you want to Lynn to? Anyway. Let me move this here and make myself bigger just so we can see a little better. So, some of the things that I've already done to help the sound is put stuff in the room. So when it's just a solid wall with 90-degree angles, things bounce off the wall. So when you talk, things just bounce around. So the first thing I did was put stuff in here, but I also, you may recognize maybe this there. That was what my background was in the old space. And what this is actually canvas. So it's soft material. And it then put a space between this surface and the wall surface. So when the sound hits that, if that canvas vibrates, there's air behind it, and it doesn't then reflect the sound back out. So that was the first thing I did. So when I'm talking into this mic right here, I'm facing those canvas pieces so that they help, they help. Yes, I do have 11-foot ceilings in here. Currently, I don't have anything on the ceiling, but I am very likely going to put up something on the ceiling. It's doing pretty good so far with nothing up there. So So we'll see. Yeah. So the egg crate foam towels work decently. The only thing you have to be careful about with those egg crate foams is that some of them are not fire resistant, and that can be a problem. The mic is. I need to rest my arm for 1 second. The mic that I have is a AT 2021, which is a short shotgun microphone, and it is. And so this one over here is the AT 2020 studio microphone, and then this is the AT 2021. Or sorry, yeah, AT 2021. Both from Audio Technica, which is what the AT stands for. Okay, so the other thing that I've done is you saw I've got curtains here. So I've actually got 2 layers of curtains. There's the front curtain and then there's the back curtain. So these 2 layers of curtain help with both the light and with the sound. The other thing that I'm going to do that I have not installed yet is something called a bass trap. And Sparky was talking about the foam that he got. This is very similar to that type of foam, this egg crate foam that I think they're talking about Sparky's flags. These are the curtains are actually curtains. They're like microfiber blackout curtains that I got on Amazon for like $20 or something. Because, anything works pretty well. But this is what's kind of called a bass trap. This is the cheap version. It's just the sort of cheaper egg crate foam. And what you do is sound is very resonant in the corners. So if you've ever been told as a kid to go stand in the corner of the room and you talk into the corner, you've heard kind of the echo that comes off the corner. So what you do is you take these triangle pieces of foam and you put them in the corner, and that helps stop the sound from echoing in the corner. So I got like 8 of these, came in a pack. They were like $20. But I've got a couple corners, so I'll just I'll figure out where to put them. Z never had to stand in the corner. Lucky for you, Z. I can't say I was as lucky. The blackout, I wanted to make sure that I could control the light in the space. That was kind of important to me, so I put the blackouts there. Sparky says, "Don't stand in the corner and problem solved." Unfortunately, this room is so small that it's very hard not to be in the room and be facing a corner. So and it's as Greg is saying, it's pretty much close to a square room, which makes it really hard. Alan is here. So Alan, why don't I start at the beginning again because you were late, and we'll go through everything again. Yeah, see, I made the mistake that when my parents started saying, "Go to your room," I started saying, "Awesome, that's where all my cool stuff is." And then they stopped sending me to the room. And this is cool too with cathedrals that you can... And they actually have, I worked as a kid at Sesame Place theme park, and they actually had 2 of these dish type things, and they were pretty far apart, and you'd go and you'd whisper into one dish, and it would, it would transmit the sound or whatever, it would reflect the sound over to the other side. Andy Ambrose says he found that the best way to stop talking the best way to reduce echo is to stop talking. And Steve Childers actually already beat you to that one because he said that that's why everyone just mutes him.
Yeah.
And my dad is saying true that I screwed up by saying, yes, I like going to my room. At least I think that's what he's referring to. And yeah, Adam says he loved to read, so anytime he got to go to his room, it was good. I forget what the name of the room is called, but there are rooms that are so like sound deadening that when you go into this space, there's so little echo in the room that you could hear your heartbeat, and apparently it's really uncomfortable. He says, I also loved it when my mom would get so angry she wouldn't speak to me. I loved the silent treatment. Too funny. Cincinnati Union Station does the echo transmission. Yeah, I think it's a fun little thing. Cone of Silence. I love... what was the movie?
It's smart.
Is that the one where they all put themselves in individual cones of silence so that they couldn't hear each other? Yeah. There we go. Adam Cruz and James from Boulder Creek Yard. And an echoic chamber. An echoic chamber? Yeah, apparently, yeah, and that's what they're used for, like FCC testing and that sort of testing and stuff. Yeah, I think Apple has one, Microsoft has them, a lot of places have them. But apparently, when you go in them, they're like so uncomfortable to be in. And the way they do it is primarily by having all these different like panels situated at different angles and stuff, so that when the sound hits them, they don't reflect back. So these are the sound panels that I got. I have them in two different colors. I wasn't sure whether I wanted the lighter gray or the darker gray. I do think I like the darker gray better. But the idea, I'm sort of curious if I hold it in front of the mic, if it actually reduces the sound or not. But I got these instead of the egg crate foam. These supposedly do a little better at reducing sound. Who knows? The idea is that they're a pretty thick foam. So as the air goes through the fibers, it actually kind of deadens the sound so that you can kind of put them against the walls. I've tried using like 3M command strips and stuff to put these up against the wall, but I found that they just fall off. Like it just doesn't stick to these. So what I thought I would do, or what I'm kind of planning to do, is I've got this 1.5 inch. Oh, my voice is cracking. Apparently, I'm going through puberty. I got this. I'm telling you, I'm like just tired. Like I'm real. Like, Lynn, we'll get back to you again. We can. We'll let you tell more stories again in a second. But yeah, so the egg crate foam. The egg crate foam, if you notice, like it's squishy, right? Like you can actually squish it. So to reduce the sound, you need a lot more of this. These will supposedly have the same soundproof quality, but at a much thinner profile. So the idea that I'm thinking of doing is I've got this 1.5 inch black stuff, whatever you want to call it, strap thing. I've got the Gorilla Glue, the brown glue, which is the... What just dropped? What did I drop? The man is excited about his soundproof. I'm very excited that at the point that I'm at now, it's much... the sound is much better than it was. So, a better soundproofing options, buy more trains. So here's the other thing that I was thinking about is... you can't see it at this angle, but I have set up, a level for the trains to run around the O scale and the G scale. And one of the things that I'm concerned about is the sound of O scale trains are just so loud. And the reverberation uh, off of the wall of the trains just might be so deafening in here. So I'm thinking that I'm going to put these up there as well, so that when I'm running the trains, it doesn't reflect off the walls. So spray 77, or spray, I think 99 or 93, whatever. There are a bunch of different ones. I could just spray these right to the wall, but I'm not sure that the layout or that the room. I'm not sure that the room shape design is going to stay in that shape. So I don't want to permanently put them against the wall. So I've got this strap. I've got this foam. I've got this foam glue. I've got water, because apparently this foam glue is water activated. And I got these. Yeah, don't buy the asbestos ceiling tiles. I wouldn't recommend that either. A lot of these soundproofing panels back in the day used to be asbestos. I don't think I want to permanently glue. So what I've got these. I'm guessing people remember these, or people that have drapes know what these are, but these are like little drape hooks.
Yes.
And what the plan is I'm going to take this. Sorry, people are talking about that glue expands a little. Yes, I do. I'm aware of that. What I'm hoping is that it'll expand and it'll expand into the fibers. But if it's a little spray 90, is that the foam one?
No.
Yeah, I know there's different
solid
ones.
Glue.
Mr. Pictoad's talking about how O-gauge track, that sometimes it's the metal tubular track that's so loud. And yes, when I had the track before, I didn't have it installed on any cork or anything. So that would probably help. Once I get all the layouts set up, that will also help with the echo, but I'm also afraid that the trains and the sounds of the trains will actually increase the sound as well. So, what's a monkey hook, Dave? I've never heard of monkey hooks before. Using cork on your layout will, it'll definitely help as well. Let me look up monkey hooks, because I have no idea what that is, and I'm very curious. Lynn or Steve, do you have any idea what a monkey hook is?
I've never heard of it before.
I have dust monkeys on some of my rail cars, but that's something different.
Yeah, I don't know. Monkey hook drywall picture hangers. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm trying not to put a whole ton of holes in the wall. So the idea is this little hook here is going to go in the same track that all of my standards hang off of. And then I'll have a piece of this webbing that goes from that top all the way down to this level of the trains. And then I'll have these soundproof tiles glued to the strap up to the height of the O-scale trains. So the idea will be is that I'll have these, these sort of columns of soundproof stuff that I can move around.
How about Velcro? Attaching the squares to the strip with Velcro.
Well, again, though, it's the stickiness of it, which is why I kind of feel like this foam glue, because of the way it expands, that it'll expand into the fibers and hopefully hold it better. But I don't know. I mean, I I'm afraid that the Velcro too, that it'll just fall off. Like this side, I couldn't Velcro this right to it. So yeah, there's usually a method to my madness. Sometimes.
It's hard to see, but this is the skirts that we use on the modules. It's stretchy, but we have Velcro on the backside. I use clips here because this comes and goes whenever we do a show. But at the show, the Velcro lines up with the legs like you see over here. And that Velcro, when it gets the sticky part of it, when it gets on the cloth, you're going to rip the cloth trying to get it off. Once it's on there good.
Yeah, and I don't. That's kind of the idea. Is just like once I glue it to this, like I don't really care. Then it's attached to this, and it'll. The other reason to kind of attach it to this is then it'll hang a little bit off the wall, and even just that little airspace between the tile and the wall will also give me some sound dampening, because that airspace, when the air hits the tile, if the tile can move a little bit, then it's not going to reflect the sound back. Yeah, why is that? You can fix holes in drywall with toothpaste, but you can't fix holes in your teeth with toothpaste. I went in a studio once where the walls and ceiling were all carpeted. That's actually really popular as well. I do have a carpet for this room. So hard to clean this floor. I still need to clean it more. Once I get it more cleaned, I do have a piece of carpet to put basically under where I'm standing. I was thinking of doing it full on rubber so that I could bounce off the walls, which will be good. But yeah, I mean, I like, the idea of hanging them off this strap, means that there can be a little bit of an air, an air gap, a little bit of a barrier, which I think ultimately will be very helpful. I think. I don't know. That's the theory. I wonder if Heath's new room came with a straitjacket. It didn't, but it probably should have. That probably would have been a good idea. Yeah, there aren't going to be any mirrors in here because mirrors are highly sound reflective because they're a flat, hard surface. And the goal to reduce sound is to have something that's not very hard. We're just saying, hi, Anthony Dodge. Not been about lately, going back to work, but all well. Just overworked. Yeah, I know, aren't we all? But we got Anthony Dodge here. Aren't we? Lynn saying no. Well, Lynn, you're retired, right?
I didn't even know it, and I was retired for 3 months.
How did you not know you were retired? That sounds like a good story.
I worked for a company called Saturn Cars.
Yeah.
Kind of went out of business, or GM decided to dump them. And I got a call to go to work at Hyundai, but only part-time, which was okay. Then the part-time started working into full-time, but as people came and went, and as they needed me, I was basically on call. And I didn't mind not going to work. And I didn't get called, and I didn't get called. And it didn't bother me, didn't get called. Then I got a letter in the mail that I had been notified I was no longer needed 2 months before. So I was into 90 days when I found out I no longer worked for the company.
Jeez. Were you but you were at retirement age, or you were at the point where you didn't need to go back? Is that
a combination of, my wife is a little bit older than me. She was a teacher, and she was checking into benefits, everything, Social Security and like that. So I went with her. And the guy that was interviewing her, he says, "Why aren't you collecting Social Security? You're 65. And I go, "Well, I thought I had to wait until 72 so I could get all the money." And he basically gave me the facts of life. Like, how long do you think you're going to live? Because you'll have to be in your 90s to make up for the difference that you're going to be losing by not collecting now. And
Oh, interesting.
I just had my birthday, and 2 weeks later, I looked at my bank account and went, wow, where'd all this money come from? And I've been getting Social Security ever since then.
Nice.
I have friends exactly the same age that retired about the same time or before, and they want to know how come they don't get as much money, and it's basically because they filed too soon. But worked out for me. My wife doesn't get any because she gets paid by the state of California for a teacher's pension. But anyways,
Wow.
it didn't hurt.
Nice.
It was just a 90, 100 days in between working and finding out I was retired.
Sounds like it all worked out in the end.
Yeah, kind of. I miss Saturn, though. I used to get a lot of free cars. Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Norman, thank you so much. I do appreciate that. Yeah, the girlfriend is upstairs, I don't think she's actually home yet, but when she gets home, she'll be upstairs and doing her own thing, and I won't be there anymore, which will make her very happy because then we can each have our own spaces. Let's see. Greg says working in audio production and video as well as working in radio. I have a lot of experience with soundproofing and techniques of recording. Yeah, there's a lot of tricks to it. There really is. And I don't know all of them, but John, thanks for being here. Hope all is well. I'll see you again soon. I definitely don't know all the tricks of soundproofing, but I do know things have improved a lot so far, and yeah. I didn't know that Saturn. I thought Saturn was still around.
No.
Are they gone?
Yeah, they've been gone for
2008 was the end of them.
okay, 10, 12.
Wow. I remember my dad had a Saturn at one point.
Yeah, there was a couple of companies. Penske tried to buy them, but to get the inner structure, the factories up and running and everything, it just wasn't financially feasible.
Weren't they pretty good cars?
Oh, excellent cars. My kids have them. My brother has one. I'd still have one, but I was basically giving them away, the ones I got. Working at Saturn, I would have people drive in. I was in service, and they said, sales doesn't want to give me anything for the car. We don't want it. Do you want it? Let me think about it. Yeah, I'll take it. And they would just sign the pink slip off to me. I went through probably a dozen of them. These are the older ones, the original Saturn, not the ones that came out in 2000. Those were basically Chevrolet with a Saturn name on them. But
yeah, wasn't Saturn like one of the first ones to do like fiberglass bodies in cheap cars, or there was something about the bodies they wouldn't dent or something?
They were flexible. You could run into them. Salesmen would go out and hit them, and they would just pop right back out.
Yeah.
What happened with your window and air conditioning? Is it still on hold or?
Good question. Let me research. Sparky says, I don't think I want to get this involved with soundproofing and lighting and wall colors. I just want to stream and have fun doing it. I agree. And I actually find this a lot of fun. There's certain aspects to all of this stuff that I really enjoy from kind of a technical perspective and stuff like that. And I just dropped a T-pin and I don't know where it is. So for me, part of fun is building out the studio. But I totally understand, like everybody, like Roy says, I enjoy some of this stuff. If you don't enjoy it, don't do it. That's for sure. People saying hello to Scott. So I'm going to answer your question I'm going to bring up the NDI camera again. So what, the new AC is installed. It's installed up there above the curtains so that I can run it whether I have the windows open or closed. I did do that install myself, and I built basically a frame out of aluminum. Let me get rid of that comment and make myself bigger. And if I do that, you might actually be able to see what I'm talking about.
Yes.
But I made a whole frame out of aluminum L, whatever it's called. So I think it's 1.5 by 1.5 by I think 1/4 inch, or maybe it's 1/8 inch. I don't remember what it is, but it's this. So I made a frame out of this, and then screwed that in up there. And now I can open up the top window and the bottom window, or any, anything that I want like that, because I have it all installed correctly.
Excellent. Wow. Impressive.
So,
Wow.
so yeah, that was another one of my projects. Yeah, it wasn't flat bar stock. It was that angle. So yeah. Yes, Scott, it is 7:15 now. What time? Hey, Scott, what time is 6:45 where you are? I'm very confused. I think it's 1.5 inch angle, and I think it might have been 1/8 inch. I don't remember. I've since painted over everything, so I don't remember what it was. I want to tip this down a little bit. It's bothering me, but I can't reach it to tip it down. Tip it this way, down, down, down. I've got a gear head on there so I can adjust it. Okay, Lynn, it's your time to tell a story while I take a nap.
Have I shared the story about the canned ham?
I'm sorry, what?
Canned ham.
I don't think I've heard it. Have you heard it, Steve?
I do not think so.
Okay, here we go. Way back in early 70s, between wife 1 and 2, living by myself in a little cabin up in the mountains, some of my friends were concerned about my eating habits. And one of them suggested that I get a little ham in a can. You can get them at the grocery stores, about yay big.
Isn't that called Spam?
No. It's a small ham.
Okay, go ahead.
Not spam.
They had
Close.
keys to roll
Yeah, you
back.
got a little key to open it, and that's part of the story. So they said, get one of these. You can have a nice meal. Then you can make sandwiches. It sounded good. So I was working night, driving a gasoline tanker. It was fun. And real popular during the gas crunch of the 70s. Yeah, real popular. But anyways, so I picked up this canned ham. I take it home. Been up all night. I'm ready to get some sleep. And me thinking, dangerous. If I put this in the oven on low heat all day, it'll be nice and tender and all that good stuff. So I put it in the oven. I turn it on low, and I go to bed.
Wait. Did you crack it a little bit?
Why would I do that?
Okay, keep going. I think I know where this is going now.
So about
I'm afraid, but I think I know where it's going.
4 or 5 hours later, I wake up. I'm in this little cabin up in the mountains. I mean, not real bad, but it was nice. And it smells delicious. Oh, it was mouth-watering. Smelled great. And I opened the oven, and this thing looked like a football going. Okay, so far so good. So I take it out. I put it on the counter. Right, cool. Like Steve said, the little key, break it off. Then I opened it. This thing took off like a jet engine, going spraying water and grease everywhere.
No.
I grabbed the towel, I tackled it. It's spraying against the wall. Remember, it's all wood frame, everything in this cabin. By the time it stopped, the whole place, the whole cabin is full of steam, smoke like grease, and it's just running down the wall of this wood cabin. I mean, just a total mess. Okay, nothing blew up. I'm alive. I'll open the windows. So I unscrew the can, and I take out this thing that is black as coal and about this big around that I didn't even want to try tasting. Again, in the mountains, wild animals, raccoons, all like that. So raccoons came around. I threw it out. They came over, looked at it, and scattered. That's my story of the canned ham.
Oh, man. So I'm having a thought over here,
Uh-oh.
and I'm kind of liking it. And I think it's a good thought. And I'm curious what other people think. And I'm trying to think, oh, I do have them here.
You know, that room looks a lot bigger than diagrams make it out to
It
be.
looks good.
So what is in here right now, right? Like if you look at this overhead view, let's turn this on a little bit so you can kind of see, right? So this room is pretty much exactly set up like that. Except rotated 180. So the two table I'm pointing as if you can see me pointing. These two tables here are the two tables that my layout are on. The chair that I'm sitting in is this office chair. The up-down desk is this up-down desk here. This desk here. And this, you know, the shelving is basically that blank space behind the door. So this sort of drawing that I did and then loaded all this stuff in here worked out pretty well. The one thing that is different is if you notice there's some space behind the desk, and I've actually got the desk a bit closer to the wall than in the drawing, which has left me a bigger gap here because I was really concerned about this depth. But there's nothing right now really in this corner back here. So I'll probably, you know, I'm hoping I'll get a bunch of shelving back there at some point. And yeah, it is literally the. Sorry, I'm getting caught in my headphone cord. So it's literally this. Like it worked out somehow to be this setup, which makes me feel a little bit better too about one day possibly doing something like this in here. You know, or something different. Or something, but I really kind of, you know, this is my tagline, right? Being a model railroader in a small apartment. I guess I'm no longer in a small apartment. I am in a small room now, but it does sort of, yeah. I guess I need to change the small apartment to small studio, maybe something of that nature. But yeah, I mean,
Weren't they storage closets at one time?
This is actually a new office in this configuration. This office was attached to the other side at one point in time, and it was all one big office. So behind the chair on the wall could be a bit of a rail yard. Yeah, I thought of I may do an HO scale shelf layout up above like the N scale layout, so that I could do a little bit more. So I do have a diorama that'll go up there with some HO scale cars that I got recently. But yes, it is a small space or a small space, either one.
Your overhead camera, when it's pointing down, is there any way to turn it 180?
For you?
Because I don't know, I get the illusion I'm looking at you upside down. I don't know. It probably wouldn't be any different the other way, but just wondering if it's possible. Yeah, like that. That actually, to me anyways, that looks better.
Well, then why don't we do it like that?
Well, maybe the others don't think the way I think.
Well, that looks better, I think.
Yeah, I think it looks better.
Plus it
Good.
matches your diagram then.
Yes. Yes, that too. Correct. Steve, I'm with you. Yes. Yay.
There you go. See, desk, door. I don't have the dog in the drawing, and as you can tell, the dog is basically sitting in the doorway right now. So, in case of fire, gently move dog out of way. But yeah, that's it. So, Steve, you haven't told us any stories tonight. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, before you tell your story, here's what I'm thinking. So, this roll was held together with a T-pin. It just had a T-pin stuck in it. And I was playing around with the T-pin, and I was kind of like, hey, if I stick the T-pin in at enough of an angle, it'll hold up off of the T-pin, and then I don't have to glue anything.
Good idea. Yeah.
It's a smaller. The dog hears somebody outside. It's a smaller T-pin than the ones I have. Kiki, it's just Rocky. I know. I know. It's okay. Kiki, it's okay. On your place. So I'm thinking instead of using this foam glue, I'm thinking I'm going to buy some of these small T-pins and use those instead. I'm curious what people think. Good idea, bad idea?
Good idea.
Cheap. It's worth trying.
And then it's so much more adjustable as well. Nothing's permanent, which, I'm into this whole impermanence thing. Hey, Kiki, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I know. I know. I know. Yes. What do you see? What do you see? I know. It's okay. It's okay. On your place.
Looks like he's doing good after the surgery.
Yeah, he's doing really great. She's doing really good. Okay, on your place. Go ahead. Right there. Yes, good girl. There you go. Down. Kiki. Good girl. Okay. Now we're back in action. Sorry about that. You never know what's going to happen. So I think, yes, I bought the glue already, but it is very likely, as a model railroader that's about to put up a bunch of shelving and stuff back there, that there's going to be some use for this glue. I am sure I will find a use for this glue.
I've got so many different types of glue for so many different applications. It ain't even funny.
I've got a whole tray of different glues. It's pretty. Kiki, it's okay. No, it's okay. It's okay. I know. It was just another dog. It was just another dog. The super. So most of the things on this floor are just commercial spaces, but the super is also on this floor and has a dog. And I believe that he just walked by with his dog. So I think, yes, that glue expands. It's water activated. It expands 3 to 1. So 3 times you'd put it on, and it you just have to weight it down so that it doesn't expand too much. But let's I'm on Amazon. Share screen, Chrome tab, Amazon. So I was looking at monkey hooks. This is actually what whoever suggested the monkey hooks. I apologize, I don't remember.
Oh, okay. I've seen those. I didn't know that's what they were called. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently those are monkey hooks. And if I can see, sorry, I'm trying to make it bigger for everybody. There we go. So these are monkey hooks, and these hooks are what started making me think, like, maybe I could just stick T-pins through it. So let's, I don't know if that's what they're called, T-pins. Yeah, here we go, T-pins.
Yeah.
So I guess this is probably, what do we think? It's maybe a 1-inch T-pin? Let's see. Yeah, that's a 1-inch T-pin. So I probably need 200 or so. So maybe Whew, just so many options of T-pins. I'd love it if there was like a box like this. Oh, here we go. Precision point T-pins. 350 pack. Is this one it? Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a minute. Oh, they're 1,500 count. Jeez. I don't think I need 1,500. But I probably need more than those. Let's go back here. This is 350. I probably don't even need 350 though. How many do I need? I've got 1, 2, 3 packs of 24. So that's what? It's 70
75.
75-ish. Yeah, that's what I was gonna do too, is round it up and then I buy. So 75 times 4 is so it's less than 400. So it's like 350.
Yeah.
So if I found a pack of 350, so the question is though, are these 1-inch? Does anybody? Oh, they're not going to be here till Wednesday. Does anybody see where they say the size? Drit size 32. Looks like these are 2-inch. 2-inch, 2-inch, 2-inch. So that doesn't work. This is fun, right? Looking for T-pins?
Oh,
So these are 2-inch length. Let's see if they give options for 1-inch. No. So T-pins, 1-inch. So Steve, while I'm looking at this, what good stories do you have?
yeah. Let's see. What good stories do I have? Model railroading stories?
Norman Rowe says those look like the foam pins that Woodland Scenic sells for $1 zillion. You are correct.
Anything Woodland Scenic sells us $1 zillion.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Oh, yeah, wig pins. That's true. I've seen people use wig pins. Yes. Yeah, I could do that. Heath's Studio Shopping Network. Yeah, I don't know if people don't know. If you go to Amazon.humancity.com, it'll actually. Well, that's one option. There's a couple options. I've got affiliate links that'll take you to like some of the stuff I use, or you can just go to like Amazon.humancity.org. Here we go. Let's see. Get it by tomorrow. 1-inch nickel plated. Here's 200 pieces. I could just get 2 of these, and they're $6.99.
Yes, Mr.
Oh.
P. I am here.
Oh. So here's the question. The Dritz pack of number 16 nickel-plated steel T-pins for 1-inch 1,500 pack is $16. Or I could get 2 200-piece packs for $7.
That's a no-brainer. If they both can arrive at
Yeah.
the same time.
They both say they arrive tomorrow. Here's a 350 pack, but I think that's the 2-inch ones again. I think we're gonna buy some Drits. Anyone have any experience with Pim Drits Corporation?
Nope.
Never heard of them.
Tim says that wasn't supposed to lead to a commercial. Hey Tim, you said it. I had to take the lead. Yeah, it's pretty amazing how you can order stuff. What there are 2 empty storefronts in my area that are going to become what they're calling. What are they calling them? Micro distribution centers? Does that sound right?
Could be.
Yeah, I believe they're calling them micro distribution centers. And I think one is a food one. And they say that you can order and get the food within 20 minutes. I was just happy being able to get stuff like the next day. But could you imagine, like, you don't even have to go to the supermarket anymore. You can just order it and it'll show up in 20 minutes?
Yeah, you imagine how much that's going to cost you?
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, as Dwight Curley says, it'll send somebody into space. Yeah, I have a bunch of 2-inch ones. Kiki, there's nobody out there. She's still listening and barking at the door. I have a whole bunch of 2-inch ones that I got at some point, but I think the 1-inch ones will come in really handy, especially for like N and Z scale to like hold down the track and that sort of stuff. Yeah, 20 minutes is we'll see how good they really are. I'm not sure, I don't know. I picture micro distribution centers having an N-scale container facility for deliveries. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, Roy, we do a bunch of groceries from Amazon Fresh, or in New York, Whole Foods Direct will. I'm very confused, but Amazon Fresh and Whole Foods Direct will both deliver same day, but they both have different stuff. So yeah. Steve says try the 2-inch T-pins first. I'm sure the 2-inch ones will work, but I've only got like 100 of them or something. Where are they? They're over here.
Yeah, John, I think you're right. I think they bought them last year or the year before.
I think Amazon. Yes, correct. Amazon owns Whole Foods, which was interesting because Whole Foods used to use something called Instacart. At least around here, they used Instacart, and they would. I need to put my glasses on. These may be 1-inch ones, but there's only 100 of them.
Yeah.
Another 1.5 inches. Amazon used to use Instacart. I'm sorry, Whole Foods used to use Instacart, and then Amazon bought them, and then kicked out Instacart, and then Instacart went to, I think, like Key Foods now instead, or something like that. So it's like this whole thing. But yeah, we can do Whole Foods too. Yeah, our groceries are brought in the store, and we bring it home. Yeah, I'd be curious, actually. Do people like going to the store to buy groceries, or do they like having them delivered? I like going to the store. When I'm buying, like, fruit and, what's that other word? Vegetables? I like to see what I'm buying. I'm kind of visual like that.
My wife's like that.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
I don't mind buying groceries. But I refuse to go shopping for groceries with my wife. You've probably seen the schematic of how a woman shops and how a man shops.
Yes.
All right, man goes up and down the aisles, gets everything he needs, and leaves.
Yes.
And a woman, my wife anyway, is back and forth. And it just drives me absolutely crazy. All right, because I ran distribution centers, and it's all about productivity. And that's
I agree.
productive.
Yeah, delivery is great until the thing you get is crap.
Yep.
So here's why someone was asking about the 1.5 inch ones working, but not the inch ones. And actually, I'm holding these next to each other, and the one looks a lot bigger than 1.5 inches. Let's see. Can you sort of see? I'm holding them both at the. I'm holding them both like at the edge, so they're kind of the same. And the 1.5 inch ones are kind of a lot longer than the inch ones. Yeah. And the problem would be is just I want to make sure that that they don't come through at all on the other side, because I just want to make sure that no one's gonna get caught on them. So I like the idea of using the shorter ones. But whoever suggested to use T-pins instead of glue, good idea. I don't mind waiting a couple days for the glue to show up. The glue to show up? The T-pins to show up.
Yeah, and what are you going to use these for again?
David Atkins says my wife makes a list and then leaves it at home. So what I'm going to do is this strap here, material, I will cut it the length to go from the top track down to the top of the layout. And then I will pin these panels up the straps where I need them to soundproof the room.
Oh, okay.
Or I should say to help soundproof the room. It won't be perfect, but it'll definitely help. Flymo Chairman says, I get out to a shop or two now and again. My home help have done a lot of shopping for me. We still get milk and dairy produce delivered. They do fresh juice too. I do they're kind of basically like TV meals, kind of. But they're not frozen. But it's like a vegan delivery service. What's it called? Fresh and Lean. They do vegan, they do keto, they do like beef. They do like all the different meal things, and I get them like prepared and I heat them up in the microwave and eat them because I'm too lazy to like prep everything sometimes. So it's just easier. There are people that do streams of them cooking and doing all their meals and stuff. Sparky goes to the store and comes back with $250 worth of beer and snack food. Container Man was just saying never go to the grocery store on an empty stomach, which is so true.
Oh, yeah.
I go to the store and I go, okay, I'm going to get some grapes and some apples and some stuff. And I always leave the store with some like peanut butter cups. Jimbo, earlier I mentioned I tried hanging these with, yeah, exactly, Len. I tried hanging these with command strips. The problem was the command strip didn't stick to to the material, so they all fell off. Which is why I think the T-pins are going to do a better job for me.
Good with the T-pins. If for some reason it doesn't work, never know what's going to happen.
Adjustable.
You're not going to destroy the material. You just pull the pins out and you're back to square one. Where if you glue things together, then you're pretty much, quote, stuck with it.
Well, and that's why I hadn't done the project yet, is because like I didn't I didn't quite know what I wanted to do, and I was afraid of kind of doing something wrong, so I wasn't doing anything. Thumbtacks would be another interesting thing that I didn't think about, but I've got I do have some thumbtacks in here. My only concern with the thumbtack is that what's nice about the T-pin is I'll put the T-pin up at an angle like this, so that as it falls down, it's actually pulling the T-pin in. Whereas with the thumbtack going straight in, it can still pull. It can still pull away, which is why I had thought about thumbtacks, but I didn't think it would. I didn't think it was the right solution. Velcro didn't seem to work. Velcro doesn't really stick to this. But yeah, I go to OVR Trains and I spend 6 to 8 hours there. Mind you, I end up stocking shelves and filling orders. So if you order from OVR Trains and you get something wrong, it was probably Sparky packing your order. Yeah, I did with this T-pin that I have here, the 1-inch one. I was able to get it in without it poking through, without it bending or anything. So I think yeah. So Steve's talking about making it through his first 10-hour day. Congrats. As I mentioned earlier in the stream, and I'll just mention it again before we wrap up, is that next week's stream, I'm going to do at 9:30. And the reason I'm doing it at 9:30 is that starting on August 16th, I've got a week straight of 10-hour days. So I want to move the stream to 9:30 so that when I do my 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. day, I should still be able to make it home by 9:30 for the stream. But yeah, it's just freelance work, so I don't know how consistent it's going to be or anything like that. But I think it should be. I think it should be okay. What about industrial staples? I thought about staples, but I wasn't sure I could, I could close them around this material or not. Yes, Andy, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, George, we were talking about it. Did a lot of things to make things better in here. There's a lot more stuff in here. The girls are pretty good at hiding the fact that that they check my work. Oh, that's so good, Sparky. I'm glad they do. Yeah, Mr. Jimbo, I'm really glad. One of the things I do want to get is some lavalier microphones so that I can, as I mentioned, like I set up the camera back there, but then I kind of realized if I went back over there, the sound would be pretty crappy because I can't really walk around. So, I'll need some lavalier microphones for the space. There's just a bunch of little things that I need to get more shelving for the space. So getting the work is really good, and as things start opening up and picking up, it'll be good to have the work. And I know it's not ideal for a lot of people for me to move it back. And like as Andy says, it's hard. I know I'm going to lose a lot of the UK people, unfortunately, but I've got to, I gotta start making the money. Yeah, and Al goes to bed. My girlfriend goes to bed at 9 o'clock too, usually. So, I know it's going to be a change, but I've got to do it to get back to work.
You'll be watching me sleep.
Well, that's good. I know, that's right. You sleep too. I forgot about that. I thought about seamstress pins. Somebody mentioned, Southwest Modeler mentioned seamstress pins. I did think about those, but with the head being so small, I was afraid of them going through, which the T-pin actually solves because the T-pin's got the nice, got the nice big head on it. You can't really see it, but yeah, so that won't go through the fabric. Keith, do you make credit cards in your spare time? How do you afford all this stuff while you're not working? David, what it comes down to is that a lot of this stuff are things that I've had. I've been in AV production for a long time. So a lot of it I had, I sold a lot of stuff. All of my old cameras I sold off. Basically sold all of my cameras, which enabled me to get this one camera. You just kind of, you get a little scrappy and you do what you got to do. Heath is a cat burglar. No, that would be too easy. But yeah, if people want to start like posting in the chat what they've got going on, and I know Steve, I told you or I asked you if you had any good stories, and then I kind of cut you off. Did you have any stories to tell?
No, not really. I've just been working on the island, and today I got a camera mount that I'm gonna mount.
Nice. Yeah, good. Good.
And that way I can articulate around and so forth, and we'll see how that works out. If it works out, then I'll get a couple more for the other side.
Yeah, I like my this mic is on like an arm like that, and I do kind of like these arms, but yeah, that I have that problem too. I can't let go of stuff. I've got tons of old stuff. I have a bin of stuff. I have a bin with 3 keyboards in it that I don't need. I'm gonna get rid of a bunch of that stuff as well. Andy says Heath kind of cut Steve off. That's unusual. Containerman wants to know why it sounds like Steve is 1,000 miles away.
Because he is.
Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Sometimes your headphone mic's really clear, and sometimes it's not as clear. But yeah, so we've got the health challenge going on. If people have not seen that, don't forget about that. People are still entering. Did not get a chance to update it this weekend because I've been working on getting this space together. But I do, I'm getting there, and I'll get this updated. But basically, if you go down in the description, there's a link for this, and you can check that out as well as other things. If anybody is in the chat that wants to post Tom's link to his video, he's probably got that posted, and we can all go visit Tom. Or Nick's Trains also usually streams at 8 o'clock. And Tyler from Lackawanna Railfan also streams at 8 o'clock. So there's lots of different people. Sparky says, I gained 3 pounds in the last 2 weeks. Sparky, I think I have you beat on that one. But yeah, in some cases, it's a roller coaster. Sometimes it goes up. Sometimes it goes down. Just to talk about this too, Dan talks about getting the guts to get in front of the camera. Trouble with my free time. Sorry, I just noticed the lighting was different. I was trying to figure out what went wrong. Trouble with my free time in old tech and work is delay many videos. Yeah, a lot of this is you just gotta hit record and just start doing it, and just kind of go forward. Well, looks like we don't see anything from Tom yet, so we'll keep an eye out for him. But
He had
Nick
a lot
from
of
Nick's
trouble last week, didn't he? Or the week before?
He did. He's had a lot of trouble with his internet, so maybe that that could be right. I started shredding my pay stubs from the 70s. I used to keep all of my pay stubs, and then I started scanning all of my pay stubs. And then I started getting all my pay stubs digitally, and I used to keep all the PDFs of them. And then the pandemic hit, and I haven't gotten paid, so there's no need to keep pay stubs anymore. But yeah, I used to keep so much paper and so much stuff, which is part of why I have this space now, because some say I'm a train collector, and others say I'm a train hoarder. It's all relative, right, Lynn?
Yes. I was going to say I have W-2s from the late 60s when I worked for the government.
Wow. Why haven't you gotten rid of those yet?
Nostalgia, plus it's buried in a shed out back that I don't feel like digging it out just to throw them away. But
Yeah,
in high school, senior year in high school, they came into class one day asking if anybody wanted a job, and I raised my hand, and I became a hydraulics, that's compressed air and compressed liquid, assistant at Norton Air Force Base right before Vietnam.
Oh, wow. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I in theater, that's kind of how I kept sort of like moving up the ranks. Is somebody would say, "Hey, we need somebody to do XYZ. Can you do it?" And I'd be like, "Sure, I can do it." I'd have no idea what it was, but in a lot of cases, people didn't want to do it. They just didn't care. And I do think that's a difference, right? A hoarder is a collector of junk. And I guess the question is, I don't know. Container Man, you are a truck hoarder, but I love it. I think collecting trains, it's a fun hobby. So,
oh yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's ironically, everything you see in here right now is what was in my apartment. I haven't even emptied out the storage room yet. So part of the plan for this upcoming week is to empty out the storage area, and Sorry, I'm trying to do something. Empty out the storage area, and I'll put all the storage stuff under here. You can kind of see it's kind of empty under there now. Get the ladder and a couple other things, but I'll fill that up with the storage so that I'm not paying for the storage area as well. Artie, yeah. So Artie had a great idea, by the way. Artie and I are going to do a live stream at some point where he's in Australia. So he's going to do the stream of the sunrise, and I'm going to do the stream of the sunset on the same stream.
Nice.
So that was Artie's idea. So check out Artie if you don't already.
Another rim question for you.
Yes?
Your door. Your new
Yes.
door?
Yeah. Yes.
Can we see your new door, or is it a secret?
No. It's still a cheap wood door.
Oh.
But luckily, you got me the camera, so I can do that. But it's just a cheap wood door, but it does swing in now, which is good. But it's going to at some point be swapped out for a metal door.
Oh, okay. More secure.
So
Yeah, it's
have you figured out
secure-ish.
have you figured out what day of the year or days of the year that you can stream where it's doing the same thing at the same time?
So Artie looked it up, and I believe it's going to be somewhere around August 22nd.
Okay.
His daylight savings time has already happened at that point, and ours hasn't. And then the sunrise sunset are closer. So like right now, his sunrise would be like 10:30. Sorry, my sunset would be 10:30 a.m. for him, so it would be missed. Whereas, sometime in August, at the end of August.
Okay.
So TSG Multimedia claims that what he collects and hoards most can be stored on hard drives. He's showed us some of his train collection, and he's got quite a train collection. So I'm kind of curious at some point just how big his collection really is. I think he secretly has more of a collection than he lets on.
Didn't he show that he still had his trains, or at least one of the cars, from when he was like 2 years old? John, am I getting that right?
He probably does. You're probably right.
An Italian car or something like that? Italian real car?
Yeah, and if you haven't seen John from TSG Multimedia's channel, at least once a month, he's doing a product spotlight. And he usually does 2 a month because he usually does 1 HO scale and 1 N scale. So he's at least increasing his collection by 2 train cars every month. So is there still a bad echo? We've been talking about it all day and people saying it's a little better, but I don't know. PGH Train Fanatic's going to do a really great giveaway, by the way. He's going to give away his Conrail Heritage O-scale set. We just have to keep reminding him to do it, and he's going to do it. Artie says we have about a 1 week window between the 19th to the 29th of August. Product spotlights are almost every Friday, so that's 4 cars a month.
I'm playing music now.
He is? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sparky or Andy or somebody, if you can post Tom's link in the chat, Rooney, I will. I'm gonna close this puppy down. Next week I will be on at 9:30. Tom ends when Tom ends, so we'll see what happens there. But here is that's a nice looking one, Lynn.
Italian, Rivarossi.
Nice.
A little bit of history. This was an experiment by the Southern Pacific and Rio Grande. It had an automatic transmission designed in Germany to go over all the mountains out here, and it failed. kind of the Edsel of trains.
Of course it did.
I have 5 Rios and 3 SPs.
Nice.
We're talking about hoarding and Italian and something different.
There you go.
Okay, sorry, just had to throw that in there.
All good. Anything, any goodbyes you want to give, Steve? Any good tips of the week coming up?
I got my monthly update coming out this week. That should take most of my time.
Nice. Awesome. Well, everyone, please subscribe to each other. Please check everybody out. I'll be over to Tom's in a little bit. And yeah, this is the new studio. Things are going to keep happening. And I'll see you Friday first, but then I'll see you at 9:30 the following Monday. So have a really great evening, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
It's all about humanity.